Again, thank you, and it's so nice to be back with you. It was a great time away. I had a lot of time to reflect on the season that our world is in, the season our church is in, the season this community is in. And I have to tell you, it's a hard decision this morning. We are given a feast in these readings. Each one is worthy of your reflection. The theme overarching all of this, and it's in my reflection very much, coming back to you, is commitment. Jesus is asking us, the readings are asking us to reflect on our commitment to Him. Whether it's that beautiful Elijah and Elisha reading, we're watching God take His prophetic spirit from one older generation to the younger generation, from Elijah, the greatest prophet in Israel's history, to his students, to his apprentice Elisha. And the comfort that we're given that God does follow generation after generation. Whether it's Paul's letter to the Galatians, skip that first list, it's rather brutal for Episcopalians. But the second list is really awesome. The fruits of the Spirit available for every Christian anywhere at any time. And then we get down to this third one. And it's the third one, the gospel, that I would like to take you back with me to my brother's boat. My younger brother is quite a yachtsman. He enjoys being out on the water. We had 9 Keith legacies. My daughter Katie, nieces and nephews. My brother rents a house every year in the Keys, opens the front door, and if anybody's in our family, they can come in. So we even had friends this year. So we had 9 kids, 4 adults. So this boat had big front, wide seats to fit that many people. And so every single day we'd get ready, we'd all get on the boat together, and we'd go very quietly out of the little canal that we were situated in, and we'd get to that liminal threshold between the canal and the Gulf of Mexico. And my brother would say at that moment, "Hold on!" And he would put 500 horsepower to work. And if you were not holding on, you were no longer in the boat. And we would go for miles and miles out. And I want to tell you, it's a terribly tumultuous journey, even on a smooth water day. So fun to watch my nieces and nephews, the lighter ones, float over their seats during the rise and fall of the boat. So fun to watch your lunch go before your eyes if you didn't pack it down. And who knew about the 2 sandbars that were not on any GPS? What a surprise that was to watch my brother kind of Supermaning it past me, totally, perpendicular to the hull of the boat. It was so exciting to meet those sandbars, at 45 miles an hour. So I thought about that journey every day, coming back to you. Because what Jesus is saying in the gospel today is exactly the same thing. Hold on! Better grab onto something. It's about to get a little turbulent. The key phrase is Luke's beautiful phrase, when Jesus set his face to Jerusalem. Did you hear Steve read that? Jesus was raised in the northern part of the Holy Land. It's called Galilee. It's around the Sea of Galilee. His own speech, his own culture, the food they ate, everything. He was at home, being raised in Galilee. All of his healings and teachings, the feeding of the 5,000, the parables, a lot of those took place in Galilee, except for now. He's making an extraordinary decision. He's going to take his message that the kingdom of God is breaking into the world. He's going to take it to Jerusalem. He's going to go up to the temple, the center of Jewish worship and life. And he's going to bring this message to the very leaders of the Jewish faith. The disciples, his followers, understood what that meant. He was going to sacrifice his life. And I believe they actually knew that. And so it's almost as if Jesus is about to go out into that Gulf of Mexico, hit the throttle full speed, and say, you better hold on. This is going to get intense, and it's going to get turbulent. Now, it just so happens that the weeks that I've been away, well, we've had West Virginia happen, right? 40 people dead because they received a quarter of their annual rainfall in 10 hours. How's Europe looking right now? Interesting, isn't it? That nobody really knew what was going to happen. It's almost as if a little political sandbar just appeared. When you let people vote, it's interesting. Sometimes they don't do what you think. Matter of fact, the Prime Minister totally misread that election as far as we know. And who's here to complicate it even more? Who's going to really mix it up inside the UK? Scotland. If you want it really exciting, let the Scottish do the politics. And we'll just complicate the heck out of all of it. Oh, it's going to be so fun. The whole world is feeling like this. And by the way, don't we feel good about the candidates that we're going to watch in just a little while in a show for the ages, right? Do you feel the turbulence of the water? Jesus knew this world very well. He knew what this felt like. He was getting his followers ready. So they start to travel from Galilee to Jerusalem. They start to hit that turbulent water. And as they travel, 3 people come up to them. These are very significant stories. And Luke puts them all together so that we can hear Jesus' response. Would you look with me at the gospel reading on page number 8 of your bulletin, and let's quickly review these 3 responses. So they're traveling. Well, first they go through Samaria. That's between Galilee to the north, Judea to the south, and Samaria are the blood enemies of the Jewish people. So Jesus sends some disciples ahead to say, hey, look, we're traveling through your territory. Can we have a place to stay? Can we buy some food? Can we have some water? And the Samaritans do what they always did to Jewish people. They said, drop dead. And so, Jesus' disciples come back with a very predictable church reaction. If we don't like your answer, what do they want to do? Do anybody see their solution? It's like sitting on a finance committee in a church. What was their solution? Lord, would you command fire to come down and burn all of them alive? This is a great church reaction when something happens that we don't expect or we don't like. By the way, if you think that sounds weird, just look at what's happening in the Middle East right now, today. They're saying the very same thing right now. Can you see Jesus just putting his head to his hand? Oy vey. No, we're not going to call down hellfire on them. What's going to happen? Do you know what he does? You see it in the text? What does he do? He has set his face to Jerusalem. He rebukes his disciples. He keeps traveling. No food, no water, no place to sleep through Samaria. His commitment is complete. And the disciples begin to understand how serious he actually is. Then come the 3 questions. As they're traveling along the road, someone says to him, "This is awesome! My life stinks where it is. Look at the journey you're taking. You're going to somewhere cool. I want to jump on." Jesus never even asked the guy. The person comes up to him and says, "I will follow you." Isn't this a great sentence? Wherever you go. Wouldn't Jesus say, "Awesome. Our incorporation class to join the church is next Sunday. Please sign up." Is that what he says? What does he say? Think about this for a second. After he leaves Nazareth, Can you find in the Gospels one place where Jesus had a home? Did he ever stay in one place? Think about that for a second. I'm quizzing you. You'll be on YouTube by this afternoon. What's the answer? Was he ever at home anywhere? Did he ever have a home? No. Did he ever have a base of operation? No. I hate to do this to people that worship in big former sports centers in Texas. This is not quite a prosperity gospel we're talking about here. Jesus was an itinerant preacher. He had no home. He had no place to go. Night by night, where was he? Sleeping on the side of the road. Camping on top of a mountain, we're told. Jesus and his disciples slept wherever they could. This is not about comfort. It's not about convenience. And so this fellow that came up to Jesus says, "Awesome, you're going somewhere cool. I want to go with you." And Jesus says, "You sure you want to buy this ticket and jump on this train?" Friends, I have to tell you that being a Christian is not about seeking comfort. We are so comfortable in this valley that we forget what this teaching really is. Jesus looked into this fellow's heart and saw something that he wanted to just speak to. So he says, "Are you ready to travel with me the way that I'm traveling? Are you ready to go all the way to Jerusalem? Are you ready to stand next to me when I give my life for the message that God is giving to me?" May I ask, how comfortable are you today in your Christian walk? How convenient is it for me to actually follow Jesus? Because it gets pretty damn lonely. It gets very, very challenging. So, they continue on. And someone comes up to, again, a second person, and Jesus says to this person, "Hey, why don't you join us? Follow me." And the person said, "By the way, I did this a month ago. Lord, I'm totally ready. Let me just go bury my father. I've got some things in the past in my life that I need to take care of. There's some things that really I need to get completed. There's some things I'm not at peace with." And Jesus says to him, one of the harshest statements, did you hear it? "Hey, you know what the dead are going to need to do? They're going to have to take care of themselves. Let the dead bury their dead. But as for you, you're not going backwards, you're going forwards. Go and proclaim the kingdom of God." Really? Because I always thought that perhaps being a Christian meant that God would reconcile all those things in my past, all the moments that I'm not proud of, all the moments where I participate in that Galatians list that we just heard. You know, that God could make all that right, and then I would be the person that God wants. And Jesus says, no, not at all. We're never going to be where we think we should be in our lives. That's never going to happen. Jesus says the only way is forward, not backwards. It's a shocking teaching. Do I have to have it all together to listen and follow Jesus? And Jesus says, not where we're going. No. Can I tell you that, I always thought that the longer I would be a Christian, the more I would understand, the more wisdom I would have, the more insight and understanding. And you know what, friends? That's not true. Jesus never said, follow me after you get it. He said, don't be distracted by these other things. The third person comes up and says to Jesus, I will follow you, Lord, but first let me say farewell to those in my home. He says, I'm so ready, but I just have to get a few things in order. 2 weeks from now, I will be so ready. And what does Jesus say? No one who puts a hand to the plow in a field and turns around is fit. It's the only time in the gospel he uses the word fit. Is fit for the kingdom of God. Anybody grow up on a farm? I did not. Did you grow up? Did you learn how to plow and plowing and fields? No? With a tractor. Well, the tractor, same thing that works, right? Does everybody understand that if you put two oxen together and you start to plow a furrow in a field to plant anything, and what do those oxen want to do? One wants to go to lunch, the other wants to smoke a cigar, they want to go this way, they want to go that way, someone starts yelling, you turn around, and guess what's going to happen to that furrow, right? It's going to go all over the place. Friends, you're looking at the field that looks like Superman's symbol here. I'm going to do this. Oh, wait, no, I'll do this. No, okay, no, let me just do that. No, you're important too. Yeah. And that plow goes all over the place. Jesus said, you know, if you're plowing to have the best harvest, you've got to pay attention. You've got to focus on the goal. Can I tell you that I thought every day in my brother's boat I was ready. I grabbed every different thing there was to grab, including relatives. I thought, today's going to be different. I'm going to have it together today. I've got it. And you know what? I bounced around every day exactly. It didn't matter what the weather was. I bounced around anyway. And I finally realized that the goal is not to hold myself down. The goal is to enjoy everything around me as we go. There really was a live well button. It just wasn't on the boat. It was in me. And so, friends, here I think Jesus says very clearly, you're never going to have it together. I will never have it together. But to follow me means to focus, full attention, full commitment. You still hit the same bars. You still get tossed around. But Jesus is heading into turbulent waters. He's heading into his lifetime confrontation. This is not an easy Christianity. This is not convenient. It is not prosperity. But this is actually the path that Jesus is inviting us to walk. So I ask you today, on behalf of Jesus, is your face set towards Jerusalem? Are you ready to follow Jesus? No matter what's happening, am I ready to focus and commit on the level that Jesus is asking?